Just as we have mentioned before, a process is the transformation of input into output, as it's depicted in this process map. The three process measures that we have to consider when analyzing a process are the throughput of the process, or flow rate. On average, how many flow units go through the process in a unit of time. Average inventory is the average number of flow units within the process boundary. And the flow time is the average time it takes for a flow unit to go through the process. These are the three process measures. The three process measures are related through Little's law, or Little's relationship, that I equals RT. So now we want to use that relationship to analyze a financial process, particularly the relationship between cost of goods sold or average inventory. As you may know, in financial analysis, we can determine inventory turns as the ratio of cost of goods sold over average inventory. And this is considered to be inventory turns, inventory turnover ratio. It's a measure of the financial health of an organization. As the turns increase, therefore, you're turning your inventory faster and places the organization in a better financial condition. If we consider the Little's relationship as I equals RT, let's for a moment consider this idea. That in that case, our flow units, rather than being customers or orders or phone calls or automobiles, let's consider that the money we invest into the organization to produce, or cost of goods sold, to be our throughput. Also, let's consider that average inventory is the dollar amount of inventory that is within the process boundary, generally reflected on our financial statements. Then T, or the flow time, is the average time that the $1 of cost of goods sold would take. It's the amount of time for $1 of goods sold to be converted to a $1 of finished product. So I'm going to look at this relationship, I equals RT. We know that I is average inventory, considering these values. For R, we know that the throughput of the process now is cost of goods sold. And T is the flow time of the process. We can easily determine the flow time of the process as T equals average inventory divided by cost of goods sold. So what does this T, or T value, mean here? Consider that we invest $1 in the company to produce goods and services, except we do it many times, maybe 100 million times, $100 million. So essentially, the flow time here is how long does it take for $1 to go from this place, from the investment position, to a finished product. Another way you can think of it, maybe consider flow time actually as your factory time. Therefore, this flow time here is a reference to how long it takes to convert the dollars into finished products. Now we have two relationships. One, we have T equals average inventory over cost of goods sold. And we also have turns is cost of goods sold over average inventory. An examination of these two relationships, we see that they have a reciprocal relationship. That turns is 1 over T. Therefore, we can say that the inventory turn is the reciprocal of average flow time. And it becomes a good, then in this case, turns become a good direct operational relationship to the flow time. Turns is equals 1 over T. Or if we have the flow time, is 1 over turns. This is a very interesting relationship, that inventory turns is the reciprocal of average inventory, average flow time rather, and it's a good direct operational measure because we know that flow time is an operational measure of a process. So we're expressing turns in terms of a process measure. So we're going to use an example to see how this relationship works.